Hi, my name is Peggy from Potato Patch Nutrition, and I'm going to read an email question that we received and then give you our answer to it and what we would feed an animal that has this concern. Hi, Peggy. My 5-year-old gelding that had a few weird episodes which spurred me to try your products was diagnosed today with PSSM. I have already managed him as if he had it because I kind of suspected. But do you recommend anything supplement-wise? I have him on your Tum Tum and Joint SOS. He's done very well on both of these and has not had any episodes since I started him on them. I'm very diligent about getting him exercise daily, and he wears a muzzle when he grazes, and he's out for no more than 3 hours a day. No grain. He is on LMF ration balancer. Let me know if you can think of anything else that I can do to help support him. And so I did look up the ration balancer that she was referring to. The first ingredient was soybean meal. The second ingredient was soybean hulls, which is actually just like the shell around it, be like a popcorn shell. Actually, it doesn't have any food value. That's just for a filler. And then the third ingredient was wheat middlings. And so PSSM is a metabolic issue. And so diet will be a very big contributing factor with PSSM. So my suggestion to her was to either put the horse on hormone balancer in addition to what he was already on, or to go ahead and switch him to Powerfully Complete, which actually has all three of those things in it. So it Powerfully Complete has the daily, which is a full nutritional map. It has the Tum Tum for ulcers and tummy conditioning and gut flora and microbiome and those things. It has the Joint SOS for joint support in it as well. It has Hormone Balancer for the metabolic factors of the body, and it has stuff for the hoof and hair, and also has Protect in it, which is for just incidental liver and kidney, just to help keep them happy and functioning well. And lastly, it has Wormless, just a small dose to help keep parasites at bay. So those are my suggestions to her, were to either switch to Hormone Balancer or to go ahead and put him on the Powerfully Complete. Because PSSM does have a lot to do with the hormones, or with the thyroid and adrenals, horses that have that concern, or you feel might have that concern, definitely need to not be on some of the GMO grains, especially wheat specifically, because the gluten molecule is the same size as a horse's thyroid and adrenal molecules, and actually a lot of the molecules in the body that are hormones, but it goes into those receptor sites and it acts a little bit like a bully. It won't get out, but it also doesn't offer the body any help. And so it can really bring PSSM episodes up more. And they already have a hard time dealing with things like lactic acid. So when gluten is present and it's kind of wreaking havoc on the metabolic rate, they're going to have a hard time moving that lactic acid out of the muscles and stuff as well, because it will start to affect the lymphatic system that's not going to be able to drain and do the functions that it should for those muscle tissues. What I would suggest for a grain in replacing like a ration balancer or something of that nature would be to, if you're looking to put more bloom on them or get more weight on them, my preference is alfalfa pellets, Timothy pellets, alfalfa flakes, just a little bit better quality of a roughage to offer them in order to help with that aspect of it. As far as an actual grain, my favorite and the only grain that we use is oats. And I mean, oats are just good for horses. It's a perfect amount of protein. It's 11%. It won't grow your babies too fast. It won't make them hot if you are feeding a reasonable amount. And by reasonable, what I mean is like 1 pound twice a day. We do feed alfalfa for bloom for our horses, so we don't use grain at all for weight. It is actually mainly just so that they can get their the nutrition that it offers in the way of a carbohydrate, which actually is fairly important, and I'm going to explain why, especially in a metabolic way. So for every molecule of hormone that the horse's body has to make. It is required to have one molecule of cholesterol available for that molecule of hormone. So if it needs to make a thyroid hormone, it's going to require one molecule of cholesterol in order to do that. So if you don't have enough good available cholesterol in the system, in the way of fat or oils, what the body is going to do is it's going to take the starch from those oats and it's going to take it into the liver and it's going to convert it to cholesterol. And it does that very easily. It's a very simple thing for the body to do, to convert a little bit of starch to the needed cholesterol molecules. So the low starch diet is actually not great for horses because it keeps them from being able to make this conversion. And then if the oils that they're being presented with also are not complementary to their system and enable them to draw out the cholesterol molecules they need, then they're going to be suffering metabolically, simply because they can't make those metabolic hormones. They can't make the thyroid or the adrenal hormones. And so the best thing that you can feed a horse, in my opinion, for grain is 1 pound of oats twice a day if they're a horse that tends to be a little bit thin or that has vitamins offered to it twice a day. And if you need more weight, then flakes or alfalfa pellets or Timothy pellets, just a little bit better hay. Grazing grass is actually amazing for putting weight on horse. So if you can make those types of adjustment, your horse will actually be a lot healthier animal. A great deal of grain, like more than a pound or so, actually isn't natural for horses. The only time that grass generally seeds out is late summer and fall, when the horse would have to start to put on weight to go through the winter. And so to eat a lot of grain is actually very unnatural for what the horse is designed to do if it were just left to roam. So that was my suggestion to her. And so if you have any questions about PSSM or our products or any question about your fur baby, never hesitate to reach out to us. We would love for all the fur babies of the world to be healthy and comfortable. Be blessed.